If you landed on Venus, your death would already be guaranteed. The air would crush you, the heat would melt metal, and the planet wouldn't even notice. You wouldn't survive long enough to scream, because Venus is not a world humans were meant to touch. It's a planet where the atmosphere itself wants you dead, and the deeper you go, the worse it becomes. The sky above you glows a deep toxic orange. The ground beneath you is hot enough to melt lead, and somewhere in the distance, through the haze, lightning flashes inside clouds made of acid. This is Venus, Earth's twin, and the most terrifying place humans could ever land. For most of human history, we looked at Venus and saw beauty. It's bright, brilliant, the brightest object in Earth's night sky besides the moon. Ancient civilizations worshipped it, named it after the goddess of love, and from far away, it almost looks like Earth. Almost the same size, almost the same gravity, almost the same structure. A twin. But Venus is not Earth's twin. It's Earth's warning, because beneath those smooth white clouds is one of the most hostile environments in the entire solar system. A world destroyed by its own atmosphere. A world that may once have looked like home. Scientists believe Venus could have once had oceans. Real oceans. Rain. Rivers. Maybe even shallow coastlines beneath a younger sky. And for a long time, Venus may have been stable. Calm. Alive with storms and weather systems similar to Earth. Which makes what happened next even more terrifying, because Venus didn't die instantly. It died slowly, over millions of years. The planet began trapping heat, then more, until the ocean started evaporating into the atmosphere. The sky thickened, the temperatures rose, and eventually, the entire world spiraled out of control, a runaway greenhouse effect. And once it started, it never stopped. Now Venus is hotter than Mercury, even though Mercury is much closer to the sun. That's how extreme Venus became. The atmosphere is so thick, so dense, that heat enters the planet and never escapes, like a pressure cooker sealed shut for billions of years. And now that atmosphere covers the entire planet like a living blanket, a blanket made of poison. As you descend toward the surface, the first thing you encounter is the clouds. At first, they almost look peaceful, soft, bright, like clouds on Earth. But these are not water clouds. They are sulfuric acid, an endless global storm system made of corrosive chemicals, acid powerful enough to destroy metal, acid suspended across the entire sky, and you have to fall through all of it. Your spacecraft begins corroding almost immediately. Tiny burns appear across the hull. Sensors begin failing. External cameras distort, and still, you keep descending, deeper, closer to the surface, closer to hell. The sunlight around you begins fading into orange haze. The atmosphere grows darker, thicker. The pressure outside keeps climbing. Your spacecraft groans around you. Metal bends slightly under the weight. Warning alarms begin flashing across control panels. And for the first time, you realize something horrifying. This planet is alive in its own way. Not biologically, not consciously, but mechanically, violently. Every layer of Venus is designed to destroy you. The clouds burn you. The atmosphere crushes you. The surface cooks you alive. Even the air itself is toxic, mostly carbon dioxide. With traces of sulfur dioxide and other chemicals humans were never meant to breathe. One exposure without protection, and your lungs would fail almost instantly. By the time you reach the lower atmosphere, visibility becomes almost impossible. The haze surrounds everything. The light feels unnatural, muted, filtered, like sunlight trying to penetrate dirty water. And then, you finally see the surface. Dark rock formations, volcanic plains, ancient lava fields stretching endlessly across the horizon. Venus has more volcanoes than any planet in the solar system. Thousands of them, some larger than entire countries on Earth. And scientists believe many of them may still be active right now, meaning somewhere beneath that scorched crust, Venus is still moving, still changing, still erupting. This is not a dead frozen wasteland like Mars. Venus is active, breathing heat through cracks in the ground, reshaping itself beneath the clouds. The deeper you look into Venus, the less it feels like a planet, and the more it feels like a machine built for suffering. Then the pressure starts becoming unbearable. By the time you reach the surface, the pressure outside is 92 times stronger than Earth's atmosphere. 92. That's equivalent to being nearly 1 kilometer underwater. Except you're not underwater. You're standing on land, breathing against the weight of an entire ocean. Your lungs wouldn't function. Your body wouldn't survive exposure for even a moment. The atmosphere itself would crush you. Not violently, not instantly, slowly, relentlessly. Like the planet is squeezing the life out of everything that enters it. And somehow, the pressure still isn't the worst part. The heat is 465 degrees Celsius. Hotter than an oven. Hot enough to melt lead. hot enough that the rocks around you radiate heat like burning coals. And Venus never cools down, not during the day, not during the night. Because on Venus, night barely matters. One full day on Venus lasts longer than an entire year there. The planet rotates unbelievably slowly, and yet even during its endless nights, the temperature barely changes. The heat is permanent. The atmosphere traps everything. Nothing escapes. Not light, not pressure, not warmth. The entire planet feels sealed shut, dead, suffocating. Imagine trying to walk there. Every movement feels heavy, not because of gravity. Venus actually has gravity similar to Earth, but because the atmosphere itself pushes against your body. The air is so dense. It behaves almost like liquid. Even wind behaves differently there. A gentle breeze on Venus would feel powerful enough to push against you. And despite how slow the winds move at the surface, the upper atmosphere moves incredibly fast. The clouds circle the entire planet in just a few days. A massive rotating storm system covering an entire world. And yet, humanity still tried to reach it. In the 1970s, the Soviet Union sent machines to Venus, the Venera probes, massive armored spacecraft built to survive conditions no machine had ever faced before. One by one, Venus destroyed them. Some never made it to the surface. Others were crushed by the atmosphere before landing, and the few that survived only lasted minutes. The planet melted them alive. Venera 7 became the first spacecraft to land successfully on another planet, but communication failed almost immediately. The atmosphere damaged it during descent, and even after reaching the surface. It survived for only 23 minutes. Then silence. Venera 9 lasted longer. It sent back the first images ever taken from the surface of another planet, and those images were horrifying. Dark rocks, flat dead terrain, a sky glowing orange above a silent alien wasteland. No movement, no life, nothing. Just an endless volcanic graveyard beneath a poisoned sky. Later missions improved. Stronger insulation, thicker armor, more advanced cooling systems. But Venus kept winning. Venera 13 survived for just over 2 hours. That was considered a success. 2 hours. That's how long one of humanity's toughest machines survived on Venus before the heat cooked it from the inside out. And the terrifying part is, those probes weren't moving. They weren't exploring caves. They weren't climbing mountains. They were simply sitting there, existing. And Venus still destroyed them. Imagine what would happen to a human being. You step onto the surface, your boots sink slightly into the scorched ground. The air around you feels heavy. Not windy, heavy, like moving through invisible water. The sky is thick orange haze in every direction. No blue, no stars, no sun visible above you. Just endless toxic atmosphere stretching forever upward. The horizon looks wrong. Venus has had billions of years to perfect that destruction. Then another warning appears across your visor. Core temperature critical. Your suit is losing the battle. The heat is entering faster than the systems can remove it. Your gloves feel warmer, then your arms, then your chest. Even through layers of protection, you can feel Venus touching you. The pressure outside continues pushing inward. The atmosphere presses against your helmet, against your suit, against your body. Every second feels heavier than the last. Your communications begin breaking apart in static. Voices from Earth distort into fragments, then disappear completely. And suddenly, you are truly alone. No voices, no movement, no life. Just you, standing on the surface of a planet that should never have existed. And above you, the thick clouds continue moving endlessly around the world, as if Venus itself is alive. Watching, waiting, but Venus is not alive. That's the terrifying part. It's completely indifferent. The planet doesn't care how intelligent humanity becomes. It doesn't care about technology. It doesn't care about exploration. On Venus, physics always wins. Heat wins, pressure wins, time wins. Human beings are fragile on Earth. On Venus, we are nothing. And that's what makes this planet so horrifying. Not just the heat, not just the pressure, not even the acid clouds. It's the realization that this planet may once have looked like Earth, that Venus and Earth began almost the same. Two worlds side by side. One became an ocean paradise, the other became hell. And the difference between them may have started with something small, something gradual, something irreversible. Scientists use that word carefully when discussing Venus. Irreversible, because once Venus crossed a certain point, there was no going back. No oceans returned, no cooling process began, no second chance arrived. The planet transformed permanently, and it will likely remain this way until the sun itself dies. Which means every time we look up and see Venus glowing in the night sky, we are not looking at another world. We are looking at a warning. A vision of what happens when a planet loses control. A vision of what Earth could become. We named Venus after beauty, after love, after light. and from far away, it still looks beautiful. That's what makes it terrifying.